This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Let's keep it going here. Let's talk about a little tease that we would see on this show. Meltzer would write, and something done to be a tease. They were really pushing Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose as best friends, almost too much. Reigns said he'd be buying the beer and the ice for the post-show celebration, and you almost get the idea that Reigns would be turning on Ambrose, but it didn't happen here. And we know ultimately it's not going to happen. He's not really ever going to become the quote unquote bad guy. They try it briefly with Dean Ambrose, but it's later than right here. Talk to me a little bit about, just the paint by numbers formula of wrestling. When two tag team partners all of a sudden start landing on real thick that they're best friends, that's usually a sign that, well, we're about to see some action, right?
Yeah, I think it's probably just a tease because, the things that really get over in our business that make you go, hey, wait a minute, did you hear that? Are the subtleties, the subtle things. And, the Shield were one of the best groups to have came along ever. And you can really break it down over the last 10, 12 years, however long they were together and in different combinations. And those guys, when they would get into these heated arguments and bust up for a while, I mean, all the single matches paid huge dividends. But you're right. If Roman's leaning too hard on, hey, you're my buddy, you're my buddy, you're my buddy, it's almost like here it comes. And maybe that was the idea to throw that out there with the fan base going, okay, we've wanted Roman to be a heel. Here it comes, and just kind of test it a little bit. That's not out of the realm of believability, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. Let's get to our main event. It's for the WWE title. It's Dean Ambrose beating Seth Rollins by DQ. So Rollins is going to retain the title. They get 21 minutes and 52 seconds. Meltzer would say overall a very good match with lots of near falls. Of course, Mercury and Noble are out here. Kane's involved. So there's lots of interference, which is typical in this era. Here's the write-up from the Observer for the finish, though. Ambrose went to the top rope to deliver the standing elbow on Rollins, but Rollins threw referee John Cone into the path, and Ambrose laid out Cone. Rollins then went for the pedigree, but Ambrose backdropped out of it and hit Dirty Deeds. So a second ref runs to the ring and counts the pin. Ambrose is announced as the winner and new champion and celebrates for about a minute. Cone is then revived and tells the second referee of his ruling prior to all of this was a DQ on Rollins for pulling him into Ambrose. So the decision is changed to a DQ, meaning Rollins now retains the title. After the match, Rollins, Kane, Mercury, and Noble all attack Ambrose. Of course, Roman Reigns comes out for the save, nailing Rollins with a Superman punch and then spearing Kane. Reigns gives a Superman punch to both Mercury and Noble, while Anderson backdrops Rollins over the top rope and leaves with the belt. This it says Anderson, but I'm sure they mean Ambrose here. This gets 4 stars, but it is criticized on the top of the Observer as being the return of the Dusty finish. What do you think of the execution of the quote unquote Dusty finish here?
Well, what makes you believe that it wasn't me that came down and ran away with the title? Maybe it's not a misprint.
Maybe it's not. Maybe I'll forget that piece. My apologies.
That'd be the only way I'd get close to the championship. That's for sure, but that's okay. Dusty finish has been said in the beginning. It was held with esteem, and it meant it was creative and it was something different. And a lot of times it got a lot of heat, which Dusty was smart enough to know for him to be able to draw money, he had to put heat on guys. And then it started to be looked down on people that maybe didn't have the right to look down on it, because when the Dusty finishes were going down, Jim Crockett was kicking ass.
Right.
So maybe that's some of the animosity you have there. I'll throw one at you. Other than having a flat finish like a DQ, because Ambrose is morphed into this John Moxley character, which he always was to begin with. His deal is just all over the place and overcoming adversity. What if he would have overcame all that adversity and caught a quick one on Seth and got out of there as the champion?
Right.
Now you got a new TV show the next day. I always believe when you pay your money for a pay-per-view, especially in your main events and feature matches, you deserve to get a finish. It wouldn't have hurt Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is a big star and a tremendous performer and well-respected, and wouldn't have hurt him in the least. But to have Ambrose overcome all that adversity of J&J and Kane and all those guys, it would have just moved him up another peg in the people's eyes and been a different way to go.
Yeah, it's weird that it doesn't happen here, because it certainly feels like it could have, and the fans were into it. Meltzer at the top of the newsletter this week would say, "It's funny because it got the name," talking about the Dusty finish, "not because Dusty invented it, but because it was around a long time before that. Verne Gagne did offshoots with it with heel champions, but Rhodes overdid the finish to the point it led to killing attendance in a number of formerly strong cities like St. Louis, Greensboro, and Charlotte during the destruction of Jim Crockett Promotions. It's not a bad finish as long as you do it every few years." Overall, though, I gotta say, I dug this show. This was fun for us to go back and revisit, but even at the time I enjoyed it, and so did the readers of the Wrestling Observer. They gave it 68.1% thumbs up, 8.5% thumbs down, and 23.4% thumbs in the middle. What say you, Arn? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle?
Yeah, and I was glad to see a lot of guys get a chance that normally didn't get a chance under that spotlight to be featured, and I thought they all worked hard and the work rate was good. The only thing that was missing was it just kind of got jammed in there in a couple of week period, and you didn't really have enough story to make each and every match matter, which is what pay-per-views used to be, spaced out enough that you could tell those stories, and each match had a story and it meant something. But that's not what's going on at this point in time in the universe. So I thought it was a pretty good show.
I did too. I thought it was a pretty good show. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.